Welcome back to Melbourne Strength Cultures Podcast, number one in the hearts, number one in the charts. We're back with another episode. The boy there's. We've got a big episode today, plenty of fun topics. Thank you for those that dropped them in the Q&A box on Instagram and also in the Discord. But before we go anywhere, we need to celebrate. Round of applause. Charles, congratulations. Charles, Deuce, engaged. Fiancé.
Yep.
How'd you go, Charles? How'd it feel?
It was good. It was fun. It was not. It was good. It was nice. It was a good day. It was fucking nice. It was nice. Had a nice lunch at Montalto.
Well, good thing is you're not too excited about it. That's really good.
I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie. I'm tired.
Tired.
My social battery's drained. I'm drained. I spoke about this with Laura last week. I had a really big weekend the week before weddings, and we had another 30th, and then we had Todd's 30th on Wednesday night. And I said to Laura, I go, I'm not prepared for another social event middle of the week. Yeah. And then first christening, birthday Saturday, proposal Sunday, and I just woke up yesterday and I was just tired. I was just tired. And I know you probably, it's like first world problems, all these nice social events. But I typically am a more introverted person. I like to chill on the couch and do some shit. So it was nice though so I'm a bit flat. I'm a bit tired, a bit burnt out. But the day was nice. So I told her we're going to the winery for our anniversary, so she knew we were going there. But then the one Sunday she decided to do work. She's never worked. 3 years we've been together. Never done work on a Sunday in her life. She's obviously started working with Chrissy, the strength series, and she had her first client, which is good. Nice. But then we had some laptop complications. So it's got Apple and stuff. So she couldn't do her program on Friday, Saturday because her laptop was fucking around. So she's like, I'm going to do it Sunday morning. I'm like, beautiful. The one day I planned fucking to go to the beach to walk. I'm like, oh, great. Do your program on Sunday morning. So anyway, Zach's just sitting there waiting for an hour at the beach.
Oh, really?
He's fine. I was messaging him. I'm like, look, she's fucking...
For people who don't know, the cameraman, Zach.
Yeah, he was the one waiting in the bushes. One of my brother's best mates. And so we got there eventually, but I was just like... How was
the heart rate at that moment?
I was fine. I was fucking like... The only other thing, I got to the beach and like... So where he was hiding between the two beach houses... That spot of 20 meter strip, for some reason, everyone just decided to just congregate there. There was like a guy with 3 German shepherds. There was this other chick playing with a group of like nippers were running. I was like, you guys, come to this beach all the time. It's dead quiet or not dead quiet, but it's more, there was just so anyway, they spread. So I was sort of stalling a little bit, but I was fine. It was fine. I wasn't nervous at all. I had no nerves.
Crazy.
It was good. Surprised her, which was nice.
Yeah.
Full surprise. She had no idea. And it was good.
Absolutely.
Laura actually helped me plan it. Laura,
really?
Well, when I rang Laura when I got it, and I was like, and she helped me pick the winery and shit. And
yeah, so where'd you go?
Montalto.
Montalto. What was Montalto like?
Montalto.
Montalto.
Is it a 2-word sort of deal? Is it
it's
Montalto?
No, he's saying it.
Montalto.
No,
Montalto.
Montalto. It's one word.
You're saying it 2 words.
Oh, I thought it was. Apologies, I don't know my French
wineries.
My French wineries that are in
Uncultured
Melbourne.
Swine.
Yeah,
I think you've been there.
Jesus.
No, I haven't.
I'm pretty sure you've been
That's
there.
probably why
Laura.
No, but Laura said
it.
you've also been there potentially.
No, I don't think we've been there.
Yeah,
Maybe
man.
Laura's
Jamie
been
was
there
hammered in the
past life.
Too many wineries.
Yeah,
Montalto.
too many cultured events.
It's one word. It's it was nice. It's good. So we got.
So how was Montalto?
What was a standout dish or wine?
What's the chef's menu? So
what'd you have?
They did. It was fucking good.
Any pigeon?
No pigeon. No, the mains were there was 2. I liked there was 2 different meats. So there was like some roast beef thing they'd done with like a tomato salsa, but it was like tasted more like a nice steak. So that was good. And then they did a fish dish as well. They were the 2 mains with sides and crap. And then I can't remember what the fuck.
Shout out Montalto.
A bit of crap on the side.
Sides and crap.
It was really good. It was good. It was good.
Any charcuterie in that?
There was. What was I can't remember. It was like beef carpaccio and some.
Oh, nice.
Tuna,
I love carpaccio.
Tuna ceviche and shit. But we sat down and they came up to us and they're like, it's already been paid for by my parents. They'd already paid for it. So I was like, beautiful, bring me a dozen oysters. So I was like, we've got a bit extra money to spend. So I was like, yeah, she's like, there was extras. And I was like, beautiful, we'll get a dozen oysters. The oysters were nice. You can tell the difference. Fresh, nice.
Yeah.
Oysters, they taste good. So that was good. And they've got a statue walk there. They've got all these statues and shit. It was nice. Recommend it. If anyone wants to go wineries, there's heaps down there.
Yeah, there are.
Statues of. Do they have any Greek gods?
No, there was one with Greek writing on it.
Oh yeah, what did it say?
I don't know what it said. It was like two things. I don't know. It was one with. It was two things. Statues are weird. The price tag on some of these statues is unbelievable. $40,000.
Oh, were they for
Oh,
sale?
they were the sale.
They had the price there, and I was like, let's
$40,000.
get this piece of tin for $40,000 in the shape of an S.
Made of tin. I thought you were thinking like.
I don't, there was all.
Oh,
weird
they've got a
shit.
sculpture park there.
Sculpture
Is that
park.
it? Yeah,
Statues, like
yeah.
sculptures. Sculptures.
Yeah, no, I've heard
they're
about
not
this one.
stone.
Yeah, when you walk and just do it. But they brought the price tag. It was
Price tag's such a flex as well.
30 grand.
Walk through the
40K.
sculpture park and just suss it because you can buy them. Yeah,
I believe so. If there's a price tag,
you'd hope so. Imagine if you couldn't, and there was a price tag.
there was these girls, this group of ladies, obviously having lunch, had a few wines, and you can drink down there too. So they would drink. They'd have few wines, and they were just laughing at all the price. Like, oh, how much is this one worth? Oh, $45,000.
It's actually absurd.
And I was like, you've got to be one of those people that just has money, like a lot, because you're not buying a statue for that much if you just
$40K, yeah.
you
Regular
have to have a
Joe.
lot of money.
Where, did any of the statues, did they tickle your fancy? Any of
Nah.
them? Nah?
Oh no, there was a polar bear.
A polar bear.
So we'll get that one.
How much was the polar
That was
bear?
still like a lot. I can't remember, but it was 20 grand.
Yeah.
Nice polar bear. Again, not 20 grand worth.
Maybe 10.
Polar bear.
Get that
Give you
Gucci
$300.
tracksuit and a polar bear.
Yeah, we'll save up for the polar bear.
We'll speak to Ryan. I'm going to change the AMG and jet ski to a polar bear
Apparently the
statue.
AMG's done.
For me.
No. They're
forward.
They're stopping it.
Really?
Bugger.
This is
Why?
the last iteration of the Mercedes
How come?
C83
solar
AMG or
panels
whatever
We're
it
just
is.
not buying them anymore.
Oh, is that what it is?
V8s
They're going to
are
V10.
dying.
They're going to
No,
V10.
V8s are dying.
What, only 4 cylinders? Electric?
No, V8s are done. Like SS, like I know Holden got rid of. Like they're all stopping. They just no one buys them anymore. They
Yeah,
guzzle.
wow.
They guzzle fuel.
Yeah.
Fuel guzzlers.
Fuel guzzlers.
$2.
I feel like if
$2
you've
a
got
litre.
the cash, you shouldn't care about the fuel.
Is it really going to make that much of a
They're probably
difference?
not selling
Yeah.
them. That's why they're all getting rid of them.
Bugger.
So if they're not selling them, it's like you're not going to keep making them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, there's a they would,
V10 twin
I feel like
turbos.
they would. These companies would have their market research team that's more well equipped and knowledge.
No.
than us
We
for.
know.
Us
We know.
for? No way.
Opinions on everything with no prior knowledge.
They're the best opinions.
So what's your thoughts on climate change, boys?
Oh,
Hoax.
doesn't exist now. I don't know. No,
I think it exists.
no, I was joking when I said it doesn't exist.
Nah, it doesn't exist.
No way.
Well, if you look back long enough on different timescales, it's always been changing.
My favourites when like
yeah.
they were like global warning. It was fucking cold yesterday, mate. What's that? Like,
Bring back the
Micro.
V8.
Yeah.
I think the problem is we need more V8s.
Yeah, more
Yeah,
V8s.
that's it. Maybe that'll reverse
Electric.
it.
Well, you burst my bubble with the electric cars too now.
I love electric cars.
What do you mean burst? What do you mean burst your
With the-
bubble?
like, it's not even that car. Like
The blue, what's that blue stuff they're
the
mining?
lithium, all these little child slaves are mining in Africa to make
Yeah,
the batteries.
Congo.
And I'm like, so it's not. So
Bicycles.
because
It's
I
the
was
only
like,
way.
oh yeah, electric. We go electric. Yeah, push bikes.
Push bikes.
But even that's not. And then the carbon emissions to make the battery, it's like a
Horse and
sort of
carriage.
fucking same shit.
Yeah.
Horse
Is it
and
a lesser
carriage.
of two evils?
I think that's, yeah.
It's
That's
definitely it's
the-
probably a slightly lesser of two evils, but still an evil.
You reckon it's slight? I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm speaking purely from like.
I'm only going off what we said because we drove him in Hindu's Tesla last week, and he was just talking about it,
Yeah.
and I didn't. Oh, Feather was talking.
I don't think it's as quick a shift that everyone wants it to be. It's
a process.
It's not just going to be like, oh, we're now doing this and it's all sustainable and ethical
Yeah.
and all that sort
My
of stuff. There's still going to be
downfall-
processes like every other industry that's
My
developing.
downfall with all this stuff is that they put this pressure on all of us to do these things, like, you know, use keep cups, recycle, get electric cars, and then it's like you got the three biggest countries like America, Russia, and China that produce 80% of the emissions.
Have you heard the fact
That's
about
like, it's like well,
I think it's just like
It's
lessening. I think it's just like if it's either it could be fully fucked or slightly less fucked.
but it's acting
I
the
think
way.
that's
I think the bigger thing is acting the way you want. If you want the world to be a certain way, act in that way.
absolutely.
So it's like if you want to see that shit, yeah, do that stuff to start. But it's just disheartening when you go, these three countries produce like 80% or whatever it is, and you're like, that is where our actions are like a.
I agree, but
These
I
dig
think
in the fucking
actions multiply. And like every action in a positive direction encourages another positive action. Yeah, it might take a while, but like you just create more people who are more aware of good actions, and then they'll eventually become the people who have more power to make decisions. Maybe that's a bit far-fetched.
No, I agree
because
with
the
you.
people at the top are always going to. But to some degree, you're pushing the needle in that direction. Whereas if you're always like, oh, who gives a fuck, then like.
Well, then also, and you're right, because it does, and then what happens is trends start to change, and if more people are buying a certain thing, then the market changes, and then that other product that is more detrimental to the environment becomes redundant, and then
more fucking V8s.
No more V8s.
Yeah, I think the problem is there's too many V8s now. We've got to get rid of the
no
V8s.
more Holden Monaros.
Yeah.
Too many sick cunts, not enough hospitals.
Yeah.
But to sum up, to get back to the engagement thing, the thing that was probably the best was that I completely surprised Deuce, and she was very happy all day.
Love that.
I've never seen her that happy, so that was nice.
Deucer. Shouts out Deucer.
Shouts out.
Deucer.
Nice.
I missed the FaceTime because I was asleep.
He was
and I called him.
Yeah. So we FaceTime the two group. We FaceTime like the status
group?
Yeah, the status group, school group. You got
Charlie, what's with your voice today, man?
That was an
Fucking hell.
inside joke and no one was going to get.
social. Yeah, no, that's why I didn't
Yeah,
say
the
it.
school group.
The school group. The name of the group is called, anyway, forget it. It's got a very specific name, inside joke, no one's going to get it.
So thanks for explaining it.
The school group, you guys are all away though in Burnt Creek, so we FaceTime you, yeah, whatever. We FaceTime this group, all the chocos, and Anthea got up and woke Jason up.
Jason was asleep.
Marion was also asleep, so Marcus woke Marion up. And Cam, we were like, Cam, go wake your partner up. Cam he's like, I knocked, he didn't answer. And we're like, open the door. Everyone's like, open the door. And then
Cam's too polite for that.
Cam was like, no,
I was asleep and I had noise cancelling
couldn't,
headphones
oh,
on.
you were out. You were gone.
Cam was not going to open the door, so Bulls called us like an hour later.
Yeah.
I teared up on the phone.
I love love.
Baba Buzz.
I love love.
It was nice. The thing that I didn't expect was the bombardment. I've never experienced messages like that. Like birthdays, nothing like that. This was like messages from everywhere. Instagram, Messenger, text. It was just, I was like, wow, I'm gonna have to put fucking time aside to that's all these.
Get the Google calendar.
All these people are trying to wish me well.
All these social occasions and all this love shown to me. For fuck's sake.
You obviously didn't earn all your fucking love.
Yeah, my love.
Yeah.
Good
Did you earn it Monday morning? Like fucking, post
No, we went to it on Saturday morning.
Morning.
Brickmart.
Brickmart.
No, what I meant is that you go, so you get all these messages because dudes put it straight up on Instagram.
Bang.
So tell the world. So then you're getting the message.
Nah.
As soon as that happened, it was like messages left, right, and center. And then because you go to lunch, so you could easily spend your lunch just both there responding. Yeah. But so I was like, you put it away. I put it away, and I was like, I'll do it when I get home later. So I was just 15, 20 minutes, responded to all.
Yeah, nice.
And yeah, you can easily get distracted responding to messages and then miss actually enjoying.
Yeah, you got to savor the day.
Back it in.
Yeah.
But the wine was nice.
You got to earn those messages later.
The wine was nice. 2016 Montelto Pinot Noir.
Oh, yeah?
Nice. Had a few whiskeys that night with Paul watching the tennis as well.
Mad.
It's good.
Sounds like a good social weekend,
Good
Charles.
social
Yeah.
weekend.
Big social weekend.
Fuck's sake.
Understandably drained.
I'm I'm all right. I was a bit tired. I was a bit fucking tired. I was a bit fucking, how you going this morning?
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll be right.
We'll be right.
It's part of the battle. Burnout.
Burnout. Yeah, well,
Speaking of burnout,
that's one of the questions, but we're not going to do it straight away. But how about you boys? What's the news? Anything up?
Nah, did the biggest brick Saturday. That's probably about the peak of it.
How big did it get?
We had programmed it. So we've been going a crew of 5 of us. It's me, Charlie, Ollie Stokes, who I coach, trains here, Weapon, Hattie Suki, Marcus. So the boys, we go down. We've been just building it up, adding like 5Ks to the rides because it's meant to be zone 2. Meant to be. And then the run has just been building up as well. For the zone 2 stuff, we want to build that. You build your capacity up more than whatever the event's supposed to be. So the event for us for the try is 750 swim, 26.7K ride, and then a 5K run. So we're just building it up. Like my goal is to do 50K ride, 10K run by the end of it. It's just fun, really. There's no science to it. It's just more, and I think it'll be fun. Anyway, we were supposed to do 35K, and then there's a range of fitness levels. So we say between 5 and 7Ks for the run.
Yeah, you wanted to do 7, and me and Hattie were like, we'll do 4 to 5.
Yeah. So because of my mechanical issues with my car, it's a bit of a burden for my friends to come pick up my car and then drop it off at Ollie's. We've been moving from Mike. Yeah. So anyway, it was a pain in the ass. Marcus came, picked his bike up from mine, and I'm like, look, I'll meet you there, and then I'll just leave my bike at Ollie's. And then I go to get my shit ready the night before. Marcus has forgotten his cleats and his helmet at my house. So I'm like, we're screwed now. We've got to ride there and back with the bike.
So you went hard.
So I added another 25 Ks to that ride. Did 60 Ks for the ride and then 7 Ks on the run. And it was the first time that I'm like, one, it was so satisfying, like actually completing it. I'm like, actual moving time was 3 hours and we had a 10-minute break between the ride and the run. So it was non-stop movement for 3 hours, which was like, oh, this is endurance now. The ones before, they're like an hour and a half sessions. They're fine. Like, this was endurance. Zone 2 the whole time. Like, it was moderate. Like, we just got to get this done. The last K, Marcus is like, I'm going to give it a nudge. I'm like, all right, let's go. He just see you later. And then I try to give it a nudge and I start getting just bilateral hamstring cramps in the last 400 meters. Start getting lightheaded. Literally went from like 23 degrees to like 28 degrees temperature in the last, I don't know, 30 minutes. I was cooked. Had about 300 grams of carbs in the morning. It was fun though.
Zapped.
That is the peak.
Did you get
of
that
my week.
high?
High?
Yeah.
Nah. This was not a high one.
Brick high.
Nah.
Went too hard.
I didn't get a high either.
I think I was massively dehydrated and I was on the couch for about an hour and a half afterwards.
Were you consuming much during, like liquids, fucking
Heaps
carbs?
more carbs.
Yeah.
So I reckon I had about 1.8 litres by the midway point, and then I reckon I had another like litre at the halfway, at the 3/4 point, and then that was it.
The lollies help heaps.
Is there a general recommendation for
So
for that sort of stuff?
For
Yeah.
carbs, they say it's about 40 to 120 grams of carbs an hour, and that's for the longer endurance stuff.
120 an hour.
That's the recommendation for like full Ironman.
How do you get that in?
Gels.
Oh, Joe would be like
Lollies.
30, 40 grams.
Gels.
wouldn't it?
30, 40 grams.
Ga-
Snakes, two
Gatorade.
snakes is what, 20, 30 grams of
Two
carbs?
snakes is 20. One snake is 10 grams of carbs.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
I just eat snakes.
Natural confectionery co, brother.
Holy shit.
And then liquids as
Yeah,
well.
and also the Berry Bliss, natural confectionery.
With the little jelly in the middle?
It just squirts in your
Unreal.
So good.
One of the best lollies of all time.
It is
Lollies,
unbelievable.
they help a lot. I found, because I only did 35, but it was still 10 more than what I've done. And it was quite warm already Saturday morning. But having the lollies just help a lot.
Makes a big difference.
And what about fluid?
I haven't looked at recommendations, but I know we're not drinking enough.
Just
I know
lots.
I'm not drinking
Are
enough.
you
for
are
sure.
you slamming like a salt tablet or something or no?
I'm not drinking enough.
Probably should, but I had so Saturday morning I had Diet Right and dextrose. That was it. People are asking like, why are you having Diet Right and then putting dextrose in it? My full sugar cordial was lemon lime and bitters. Bigford's sucks.
Not a good flavour.
Lemon lime bitters sucks. Cam had peach iced tea. Bigford's cracker. Lemon lime bitters sucks. So I had Diet Right and dextrose, but it still wasn't enough. Like
I have, every time before we ride, I have a scoop of whey and 50 grams of dextrose. And there was one week I didn't have the dextrose and I went fasted and you feel like shit.
Yeah.
10 Ks in, you're like, I'm fucking, you feel like, and then we didn't have any carbs with us. You feel like shit.
Yeah.
fueling and
feel it.
hydration is like it's so.
You just got
important.
you can feel it. Your legs are just not, it's like everything's harder.
We interrupt this podcast for a word from our sponsors today, which is Get Going. If you are a young PT who's feeling burnt out, feeling like you're struggling, you're not growing, your big chain gym boss isn't giving you leads, they've sold you the dream and it's not coming to fruition, it might be time to try something else. And for some coaches, that would be online coaching and working for yourself. But for some people, that's just never going to work. To work for yourself and to be a lone wolf in this industry is quite a big deal. And that's why I believe that Get Going is a fantastic next step for many young coaches' careers. They're a fully supportive team. They'll handle your leads, your marketing. They'll handle your education and upskill. You'll actually become part of a team where you can grow and develop as a coach and also actually start to earn some money in this industry. You'll still be helping fantastic people with their goals and their aspirations just under the team of Get Going. So if you're a young personal trainer looking for that next thing, what you're currently doing isn't working, reach out to Get Going through the link down below or www.getgoingpt.com.au/careers and let them know that we sent you. Zapped.
Yeah, it was funny because the first few ones we didn't prioritize it at all. So our baseline was trash, and then we started fueling, and we're like, oh, this is mad, and then forgot to fuel a week later, and like, all right,
Yeah, but that's
This
good.
is-
You need that because
You
it
need that.
tells you that it's, we're doing
Now,
that.
now
Yeah,
you've
exactly.
proven it to yourself that it actually.
and it's not like we didn't know prior.
But now you
we
really
definitely
know.
knew prior.
Yeah.
It's just, it's like, I think you got to
And
just
I had this thought
have the
other day.
mistake to learn.
I wonder because I was on the and there's a lot of like what are they called, mammals, middle-aged men in lycra.
Yeah.
A lot of mammals on the road that wouldn't have any of this knowledge. And I look at like your dad.
I feel like they would. My dad's
Your dad
absolute-
who goes, go for a 4-hour ride, drinks like 200 mils of
He
water.
almost brags about how little he drinks and then complains about how sore and terrible he feels
But I wonder-
afterwards. I said, Robert, you're chronic. You haven't drunk in 17 years, mate. Get some fluid in you.
Drink some water. And then he like would they be having carbohydrates, intra-workout carbohydrates and fluids and stuff? But who knows?
Dad
of
actually
them would.
drinks the man shake.
How come?
that one appealed to him versus
Somebody was using it and he tasted it and he said it tastes nice, so he just has.
Well, your
the
dad
man
doesn't
shake.
eat. He goes all day
Yeah,
and just works and doesn't
there's
eat.
a real
Lee Machine.
there's a real like just work, get it done, just get through it.
He's a boomer.
He's a boomer.
Industrial deafness.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I was got it all.
Got it all. He's got that generation.
Got it all.
I've ridden with Rob Smith down at the velodrome, and he moves. He boogies.
Yeah, he
Don't worry
does.
about him. He's fucking. He's got.
I think
some
if you
speed.
dedicate enough time to the bike, like we're talking years. How long has he ridden the bike?
15, 20 years. Yeah.
You'll get better.
You'd hope so. Fuck,
get
after
better.
20 years.
You'll get better.
Yeah. All right. Dids, update, anything?
Basketball's back last night.
How'd you go?
It was good fun. Dropped 11 points. Bang, bang.
Oh.
I know. Nah, so we have a new team member, Mr. Anthony Chan. Fellow Donny boy. Haven't seen him in years, but he's on the team now. Just having like one other good player, everything just works so much better. Like there's a good flow. Like you pass in the ball, you cut, you get it back. Like
Were you
it's just-
sick of carrying everything?
No.
Was the back end a bit-
No.
Is that why you had a sore back?
Is
Is that why your back was sore?
Here's the thing.
From carrying the team.
I shouldn't be a number 1 or 2 option. I'm a mid-tier player. So I'm able to play that mid-tier role well when there's someone else there to carry a bit more. So I can find my way. I was second highest scorer, so don't forget it. But like, it just flows well. And I'm like, this is, because we used to play like at lunchtime and shit. It was just like, and we played on a couple teams like back.
That chemistry was
back in the
there.
day. The chemistry was there. The chemistry was
How's
there.
your, how's your lower back feeling?
My lower back's good. Knees
Surprisingly
not great.
better. Nice.
Not great. That's the thing. That's why I was having bloody lower back issues.
Yeah, share the load.
Knees a bit sore. I think I need to do some tibialis raises because waking up, my shins are
Got to get the ATG,
good.
baby.
pretty great. Not the
ATG.
best. A bit ATG.
Yeah.
But no, it was really fun. It was fun. Looking forward to the season. But I think it's great to say things on the podcast and just in front of you guys to hold myself accountable. I want to get fitter. Like we were
alright.
killing them. So like the last 5 minutes was dragging my feet. Like didn't really matter because we had a comfy lead. But I want to be able to put effort in the full game. So
Alright,
I need to get fitter.
Saturday morning,
Boys,
Brickmark.
I know exactly,
Be
Brickmark.
square.
Boys, we're gonna use this opportunity. Let's build out a strategy for Didier. What are we
Case
doing?
study.
I think okay. I'll say the
How many
very
days a week are
basics.
you lifting?
4 days.
4 days a week lifting, primarily powerlifting. 'Cause
Correct.
You've got a big showdown with Jez when
I
that
do.
gets confirmed.
I do.
What
Yes.
modality?
I think it's just for me, I'm at the point where I just need to do it consistently. Like I just need to jump on the air bike and do it twice a week every week, which I haven't
So
done
you just want
consistently.
to do
ever.
the air bike.
Are we doing
I
zone 2?
I enjoy the air bike. I think I'm at the zone 2 point.
I think it's zone 2.
I'm at the zone 2 point.
But I would say get a bit of running in there if you're playing a running sport.
I
His
could.
knees can't tolerate basketball.
That's
right
the thing. That's the thing. I'm already like just trying to manage like my knees not being cooked for squatting. They're not, but I feel like that's just adding more than I can currently kind of
It's a assault bike for Geezer.
deal with. I think for
For the minute.
Geezer over here needs
This
a
is
cell
his
bike.
first game of the basketball season.
My
He's
knees are already
waking
sore.
up cooked, trying to
Yeah.
balance lifting.
What have you got? Just
Assault bike.
Oh no, just my knees are a bit sore, which happened last season. But like, it's not about that. It's just I need to get fitter. But
It
you're
should
right,
also
I don't
help
think I
that
should
you
be
don't have to
adding in-
carry the whole team this year
That's
as well.
it. That's it. I can go back to that.
Less stress
that
on the
mid-tier
anterior knee.
spot. But yeah, I'm at the point where I just need, and that's the thing. Like I think people they're like, oh yeah, I want to get fitter. They jump to step 3, whereas like most people like me are at probably that step 1 where it's like just do it consistently. Try and work up to you're able to doing 20 minutes. You know, in that zone 2 kind of area,
So
and doing it consistently.
2 days a week, zone 2 on the air bike. Is that what we're sort of prescribing?
I would say
About,
that,
I think
honestly.
if I can do 20 minutes, like I mean, feel free to
I
add in.
would say that would be enough.
If I can do
to
20
start,
minutes, sit there
You
for a
can do
bit.
20 minutes.
No, I can, but like I'm
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
do 20 minutes. I know I can, like do 20 minutes twice a week, moderate pace, maybe build up to 30, and then from there maybe we can get a bit more creative. But I think for now, it's just getting it in because like I haven't done it.
yeah,
I'm like, I'll get 10
that'd
minutes
be
here,
it.
10 minutes there. But I think I see it be like, nah, I'm going to do 20 minutes and that's my stint versus 10 minutes and then like.
Make sure you got something to watch or listen to.
Nah, for sure. That definitely.
bike
Or
gets
even it's
boring.
great when
Just take it
'cause
outside.
We have 2 air bikes downstairs. It's great when someone else is on there. You just have a
talk.
chat and you're like, oh, the 10 minutes is gone.
The air
Like,
bike
so much
works out
quicker.
well.
30 minutes on the air bike. Now that I've been running, 30
got
minutes running is just so much nicer than 30
Yeah,
minutes
for
on the
sure.
air
Like,
bike.
because I do enjoy like riding the basketball, just like logistically, timing wise. The air bike's easy. It's right there. You don't have to plan it.
Yeah,
like
it's
you
easy.
jump on, and there's one at the other gym I go to, so it works out well.
Tools, mate.
In the worst case, just microdose it. So rather than 2 20-minute stints, just
Do
do
2 tens.
4 tens.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
4 tens across the training week.
Speaking of long air bike stints, did you guys see or witness any of Ethan Fleming's latest
Yeah, I did.
endeavour? Have you heard the aftermath?
Nah.
Something about
I saw his nerves.
nerve issues in his hands? Yeah.
So Ethan Fleming, we did an episode with him. He was the guy that pulled the car for 48 hours, pulled the Jeep for 48
100
hours
kilometres.
along Avalon
Days.
Airpond.
Ultra marathon
Yeah.
with a
What?
Jeep.
Avalon?
Avalon Airpond.
Avalon Airpond.
It was ultra marathon.
Ultra marathon. He did 100 kilometers in about
Pulling
40.
a 2-ton
I
Jeep
think-
Wrangler.
I think it was about 47 kilometers. Sorry, I misspoke, fellas. Sorry.
All he needed was a bit of.
And then, so his latest one was 24 hours on the air bike, just a standard assault bike.
A little
max
while ago,
distance
he
in
did it with like multiple people. Yeah.
Yeah,
But this time he's like, I'm just going to do it myself the whole time.
And he had to beat a certain distance, and he got it about 23 hours in, so he saved about an hour, and then he just jumped off. The reason he just jumped off is, he's done something to his nerves, so he can't feel his hands at the moment. It's been like a week. He can't feel his hands. Apparently his asshole's weeping again because that's what happened when he decided to ride from Adelaide to Melbourne. So he can't sit down. He can't grip anything. He can't hold anything with his hands because he's lost all of his feelings in his hands.
He's
So
put his asshole through it in these challenges.
yeah, he does.
That's the one
World's
thing.
strongest asshole.
Put that in the Guinness Book of
Tank.
Records.
I was saying to honestly,
Callus the Taint.
That was the one thing that we've just not prepared well.
Yeah.
He's prepared in everything.
His
I'm not coaching him anymore, but in everything prior,
His
his
arsehole.
asshole has taken the most
tank.
damage.
But I think you can't. Like, what can you do?
You replace your office chair with a
conditioning.
bike seat.
You got to condition it. Well, I was going to say, like, more exposure to it, like at a
It would
lower
have to be.
intensity.
It
Like,
would just have to be just more exposure, just more contact.
Yeah. More bike seats. But yeah, shouts out Ethan Fleming. Congratulations. Another Guinness World Record. Starting to stack them up now. I think
Stack 'em up.
he must be about 4 or 5. Just
Guinness.
doing these crazy endurance challenges. I think he's
Fucking
going to take a bit of a break though, and I don't know if the next one's going to have an air bike. He said
Yeah,
it was actually
maybe-
the hardest one he's ever done.
fuck.
Yeah.
He said it was significantly harder than everything else he's ever done. So imagine you're doing 20 minutes. Make sure you got something to watch. Imagine doing 23 hours.
It's actually fucked.
Apparently he had like a blindfold on for some.
I saw at one point he had a
Why
blindfold.
do you have a
I don't know.
blindfold?
Just that was
Maybe just
it
to
felt better.
change your fucking view, like fucking rest your eyes. Maybe I don't know because you have to be awake for that whole
what
time
it would
too.
have been feeling like. I would just want to know, just for a couple of minutes, not 24 hours, but like the peak pain.
He also
'Cause he
said
said
that
he was spewing, he had to cry at one point.
Yeah, he
like,
couldn't take.
went hard.
Oh, he also thinks he's got the early onset rhabdo.
Yeah, okay.
Because a few excretions from the body aren't looking
Fucking
normal and
hell.
aren't
Yeah,
returning. This was a few days ago I spoke to him, so maybe it's improved now. But he said he couldn't get the tension off his quads.
Was he?
His quads were just getting.
He was jumping off the bike for a bit. Yeah,
I think he was just going to the bathroom. That was it.
that was it. Fuck.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's an animal.
That mental space is something else. So good to see Didier get fit. Good.
That's
good
it.
segue.
I'm yeah. Fuck.
Let's
I've
move
got
on.
only about 20
You better
minutes.
fucking get those 20-minute sessions in now after
Yeah,
that.
I really do.
There's some segue.
Yeah, let's move on to the world's worst kept secret. Is we are starting an apparel brand. It's underway.
Yeah, come on.
It's
Was it a secret?
it's getting closer. We've never really spoken about it openly, but we're going to
There's
use
just a
this
few eyeball
opportunity.
emojis, just here and there.
Yeah, I suppose that
Watch this space.
Watch this space.
IYKYK. Like,
If you know, you know. But yeah, we're getting very close. I don't know if you may have seen today that we shared a little sneak peek from our printer, who is doing some printing and embroidering for us on a couple of different garments. We're going to start using the right terms.
garments.
'Cause we're now-
apparel and garments, not
Yeah.
merch.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
starting to shorten it already. Garms.
Garms.
Yeah,
Yeah, capsule.
Mints.
yeah.
Yeah.
This capsule finna be lit.
We need some
For real, for
Capsule
real.
finna go off.
we need some speedos.
Speedo.
Do we?
I don't know. So when I'm at the beach, just fucking doing my ocean swim.
That'll be a 1 of 1 for you.
1 of 1.
Yeah.
2 of 2. 1 for Boots too.
Where would the logo be? Would it be on
the ass.
on the taint or on the front side?
On the ass.
No?
On the ass.
One on the ass.
On the ass. It's been a really fun journey though, building this thing out. We've discussed like a small rebrand previously, but we can unpack it a little bit more. But we just felt that the number one, Melbourne, we wanted to drop Melbourne. Even though everything we're creating is we're trying to our best to make it in Melbourne. So our manufacturer's in Melbourne, our printer, our embroiderer is in Melbourne, our designer, our lead designer was also in Melbourne. So we're trying our best to keep everything in-house. We're definitely influenced by Itch Pig with their story and their sort of journey in supporting Australian manufacturing and all of that sort of stuff. We definitely want to follow suit there. We also just really like the efficiencies of having everything in nice and close. We can very quickly make decisions and be agile with our designs. That's another key word there.
Great word.
Agile.
Yeah, be agile.
Agile periodization.
Yeah, but it's actually been an awesome experience. I've thoroughly enjoyed a new challenge. Yeah. It's been good. It's been awesome.
Been good.
It's been fun. It's
Yeah.
been real.
We got photos today, and I'm G'd up.
We're excited.
I'm very excited.
Big G up.
Yeah, it's gonna look good.
Yeah, so the first drop will be most likely probably 4 to 5 weeks, I would say. Because we should have everything hopefully by the end of this week. Then we've got enough time to finalise the website. We've got a new website coming.
A few more eyeball emojis.
Yeah, a few more if you know your nose. But it's definitely something that it's probably one of the most requested things that we get through our social media. Like, well, I'd love to support, come and buy some stuff, whatever. But the opportunity is coming.
Because we stopped doing. Oh, Christ.
You actually,
that was number one. You get a handshake for that.
That's all time.
I couldn't reproduce that.
That was
If I wanted to.
that was a falsetto. That was Adele would be proud of that
Some
one.
fucking shit on my vocal cords today. I didn't lube them up properly.
You need to snap yourself out of the social
No.
battery drain.
I didn't lube
I
my
reckon that's
vocal.
what it
Yeah.
Slap him, buzz.
Give me a gargle. Of the fucking
Gargle of what?
monster.
these nuts.
Like these
fucking
jaggets.
What were you saying, Charlie?
We stopped selling the fucking old
The old
merch
ones.
years
Yeah.
ago just because we're like, this is shit.
And then for the last 2 years, it's just been sitting there like slowly. Like the last stock we have,
We're
we're
just
just
handing
giving
it
it
out.
out. Like take it, please. Just
Take it. Like
take it.
obviously the logo, like it was just stuff printed on AS color tops, but the fit we didn't like.
We weren't
the
confident in the fit.
anymore.
The t-shirt was thin and quite cheap.
The
and
t-shirt would wear away real quickly. Like those t-shirts now, I literally throw on like when I run. I'm like, because I know I'm just wear it for 20 minutes, throw it in fucking
Yeah.
the wash. Like they're just. But yeah, we weren't happy with that stuff, and we haven't had anything to sell for a long time
yeah.
properly.
Yeah,
So-
we've purposely gone away from like the cheap, quote unquote, fast fashion, I guess you would call it. Just bulk order like 200 AS color tops or whatever and just print your logo on it. It's not what we want to do. Like
It's
these,
phase one shit.
yeah, phase one, exactly. These garms, these garms are going to
That's
be.
Garmin, just so you.
Yeah, these
Just
garms
so you're following.
these garms are going to be high quality and you'll definitely feel it. Like the first, what's the GSM of these first t-shirts? 220 GSM. They're heavier. They're an oversized,
French
a more
Terry.
boxy, oversized fit. French teriyaki.
Look it up.
But they're actually really good quality. It's all our own branding. We've got our own tags. We've got our own like details on the design. We can be a little bit more creative in those ways.
The tag's good. Like having the tag and stuff is mad. It's like
Yeah.
it's your product. It's not
Yeah.
an AS color
And
tag.
it's been really cool to like be able to like go to the manufacturer and like see it in real person and give our input, have them, obviously offer their fucking
Experience,
expertise about
yeah.
how we should go about different things, have different options to work with. It's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, we're probably about 5 weeks out. The first drop will be a couple t-shirts. Then from there, probably 6 to 8 weeks after that will be our first hoodie run. The hoodies are also fucking a sick fit, a really good
Delicious.
fit. Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah. So thank you for all those who have been patiently waiting for the apparel because we're pretty keen to bring it out and we're excited for you to see some of the new direction that we're taking with the brand in general and sort of the rebrand and all of that sort of stuff. And shouts out you boys, obviously as well, because it's a team effort and it's coming along really well. I'm excited.
Fucking oath.
100%.
Apparel.
Apparel. Yeah. Garms.
It's not merch.
Not merch. Yeah, don't call it merch. We don't sell merch anymore.
If you ask for merch, we don't have it. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Look, Charlie, you're a bit more energetic now. At least we got that.
It's the hat. So whenever you bring that hat out, you just get kicked back. You're too kicked back.
Sometimes you just got to lube me up a bit, warm me up.
It's on tilt.
But the voice break, I've been. It's happened 3 times.
We need to make a reel out of
You
that.
look like you've been warmed up. You look fucking half baked, mate. What have you been doing this morning?
Been fucking in the car park.
Hanging around in alleyways.
That devil's lettuce.
Your ass is as red as the devil's dick. I've been watching Eastbound and Down. Speaking of
That
Danny
is one of the
McBride.
funniest shows of all time.
Oh, it's on binge, and I started watching it, and I love him.
I've got to watch it again. It's on binge. That's unreal.
Deuce doesn't. She's like, I think you can watch this one on your own.
That is such a
Does Laura
funny
like
show.
it?
I haven't started. I watched it when I was in America.
Yeah, because I really find it funny. I'm just like, his humor is very like.
He's bound and down.
It's
on
drawn
binge,
out.
thank
It's
fuck.
drawn out, and it's dumb as shit. It's
dumb as shit.
I get. Yeah,
His
I get
character,
why.
just in general, is
It's so
fucking.
good.
Have you ever seen it?
Kenny
Nah.
Powers.
Oh,
There's
Kenny
a-
Powers. That's it.
There's a video.
Kenny
The
Powers.
first exposure to Eastbound and Down I had was a blooper video.
Him and the jet ski.
No. The jet ski is unbelievable. It was Danny McBride and Will Ferrell. So
Yeah.
it was them. but it
Ash
was
Schaefer.
Ash Schaefer is the blooper reel, but it's just them talking. And then what's his name? The guy from Pineapple Express. Fuck.
Not Seth Rogen.
Not Seth Rogen.
James
the
Franco.
other guy. No, not James Franco.
Oh, the dark guy.
Yeah.
What's his name? The
Not Matheson.
Matheson. No, the one. You going soft, motherfucker. Dinner's gonna be cold tonight. That one.
Yeah, him. And it's that
That guy, I
blooper
don't
reel
know
is
his name
easily one of the funniest. We'll drop the link in the fucking Discord because it is easily one of the funniest videos I've ever seen.
I'm
Blooper
so
video,
glad-
not even seen. It's just hilarious.
I'm so glad I can watch it again. I
Watch
haven't
it.
been. Yeah, I haven't been.
And
Able,
I've been,
a couple of years ago. I tried to check in again, try to find it, couldn't find
It's
it.
on binge. It's on binge, and then there's 2 other shows that Danny McBride's done as well, newer ones. So I think I'm just gonna go down in that rabbit hole.
Danny McBride.
Do you know what I've been watching? That I'm like uncontrollable laughter. Like I'll be in my room and the camera, what the fuck are you laughing at? Like pissing myself. Gordon Ramsay compilation videos.
Oh, he's amazing.
I have never watched.
He's so good.
I've never watched any Gordon Ramsay anything, and I've never. When you were talking about beef carpaccio before,
Yeah,
oh my, it was Hell's Kitchen.
he puts
and
it on for sure.
man, these insults,
Yeah,
It's
he's
fucking put on.
unbelievable.
Sure.
But it's just like. Just quick on
quick.
everything. Someone went to hand him, went up to the kitchen, gave him the beef carpaccio left. They're like, there's no flavour on this. First time he listens, and it's like, no, it was actually the maitre d', the head. I don't know, the head, whatever. I brought it back. They go, look, it's not been seasoned, blah, blah, blah. First he rips the chef and goes, season the plate, put the carpaccio down, and then that's how you got to do it. So they take it out again. This time it wasn't the head
Maitre d',
waiter, the
yeah.
maitre d' that brought it back. Instead, it was the person that was at the table.
Oh, yeah.
So they go up to the kitchen and then give it, and like, this isn't seasoned. And it's just pretty much like, okay. And then she's like, no, look at me. She's like, look at me. He goes,
That's a setup.
yeah. And she goes, no, look at me. And he goes, I won't look at you, you fucking dog. And he goes, go sit the fuck down. And I'm like,
So Gordon Ramsay called the customer a fucking dog.
oh no, there's that many customers that he goes in
just
that
rips.
hard on.
Fucking hell.
Some of the shit he says to the people in the kitchen, it is obscene.
it.
I remember
Obscene. I've never
'cause
seen it.
He's obviously done those shows where he's like managing a kitchen and there's like service and stuff. But then he does the other ones where he'll go to like a country pub that's like a 1-star place and try and
shit
fix
out.
it. And then,
I think that's what he started with.
Yeah, and
It
then
was
he's like he's pulling things out of the freezer and it's like,
what the
5
fuck
years.
is
Yeah,
this?
it's like 5 years expired and he's just like, what the fuck?
And he goes, you could fucking kill someone. that's his one of his lines every single time. You
random
kill someone.
fucking
I had
setup.
a short stint into watching Mr. Beast videos, and he'd had this one about he remade the Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. It was fucking crazy. But then the end thing was a cooking challenge, and he had Gordon Ramsay as the fucking judge. So like these guys were like legitimately surprised because they just came from fucking Mr. Beast video, and suddenly they have fucking Gordon Ramsay yelling at them because their cooking is fucking shit. I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy. What a crossover.
He's an all-time
I
character.
think he's actually a good bloke though.
Yeah, well,
I think it's all because if you watch proper
He's playing
episodes
a
with
part.
him, like he
Yeah.
like with those ones. So there's Hell's Kitchen and there's Gordon Ramsay's
Kitchen Nightmares was the first one, yeah.
He does get quite like emotionally involved with them and wants to see them do well.
Yeah, he
and
wants,
shit.
at the end of the day,
I
he
think
cares.
all the shit, it probably is an element of putting it on for the camera.
Yeah.
Like calling
without
everyone-
a doubt.
Mate, he puts it on well. It is
I'll have to
so
watch
funny.
some.
You know,
I
you
think-
have to. These videos are unbelievable.
I think he is a good bloke.
Yeah.
He's a good bloke.
Deep down.
Deep down. Deep down.
He wants the best for him. That's why
What's
he,
the best for them?
That's why he
That's
brings
why
him down 500 pegs.
That's why he insults them viciously.
I feel like it's the same storyline every time. The restaurant's owned by a couple. The woman is really open to change and wants to listen to him. And the man's like stubborn. This is my kitchen, my way. And he always just rips the man and be like, "Fuck you, your restaurant's shit. Fucking listen to me."
No, there was one where I watched where both of them, both the partner,
Stubborn?
both of them were stubborn.
Yeah.
And then Gordon Ramsay ripped the guy, and the other guy goes, "Don't know who you're fucking talking to." Is like underworld
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Is like, "Oh fuck you up," some shit.
Fucking
And then they ended up just closing shop. They kicked everyone out.
Oh, really?
Like, we're not doing this anymore. Get the fuck.
That's funny. Hell.
I'm going to definitely have to check that out.
It's great TV.
Don't say we don't have any good...
Yeah.
Don't say we're not cultured.
Yeah, we
Come
got Danny McBride, Eastbound and Down, and Gordon Ramsay.
The next show I just want to quickly just touch on is last night I turned the TV on, and because I've been watching the tennis the whole time, it was left on Channel 9. Married at First Sight was on.
Oh, yep.
And I just got sucked in just a little bit. I lasted about 90 seconds before I was like, this is like literally,
No good.
they cast that. The way they cast
I've got a
that
funny
shit
story about this. I actually was on the
unbelievable.
trip with the head director of it when I was in.
And what did they say? Because they surely picked these people.
No, he said
It's random.
they
It's not random.
they have a psychologist on and they purposely pick conflicting personalities.
Of course.
Because so the quick snippet I saw, and me and Deuce like turn this shit off, it's making me dumber right now, was that the girl was crying because apparently the guy she messed up with has a girl on the outside and she's crying because it's the same story over again. I always get fucked over. And I was like, they 100% do that on purpose.
Yeah,
They
but-
picked the insecure girl that has been cheated on or whatever with the guy that they know
always known for cheating.
Yeah, but then another
He
girlfriend.
leans that way.
Yeah, and I'm like, they've picked that on purpose.
Yeah, and then the busted part is they've got the psychologist on the show.
Yeah.
And they go, "Oh yeah, we've picked this person to line them up with this." And it's like, these guys are so shit. Like,
No,
they're just
they don't-
shit.
they're
Like,
never
how
gonna
can you
work.
do that and call it psychology?
Literally,
like, it's
yeah.
sickening for one. It's definitely unethical. You can't be doing that. Like, really bad. And then two, they're picking them to say they're fucked. And then it's like, are they actually psychologists?
I
It's
don't
like,
know about
you-
what happens on the show.
The ones on the show, surely they're pissing all credibility down the toilet because everything is a dumpster fire.
Everything.
Apparently, they've picked them to be on point, but
No.
Well,
it's,
then
it's all, mate.
he did say though that nothing is set up. There's no it's not actually like
Once
set
they're
up
together,
in-
that's
yeah,
it.
Yeah,
It's not set up, but they're facilitating
it's crafted
it.
in a way
That's
that
gonna
they
cause
know
drama.
that shit's just gonna fucking
hit the
pop.
fan.
Yeah.
They know that's going to cause drama.
Yeah, that is
because
so
picked-
sick.
They've picked
Like, it's-
opposite personalities that would never ever work.
Yeah.
it's actually sickening.
Yeah, but anyway, we lasted about 90 seconds. I was like, get this shit off. And we flicked over. We're watching The Last of Us. Really good.
That's a game, isn't it?
Yeah, the game's
Yeah.
mad.
Really good.
Yeah.
It's the last
It's
game
honestly-
I played about 6
so-
years ago.
I had it and I've lost it. I don't know where it is. I bought fuck. Anyway.
Life's crumbling.
No, it's really,
Ever
really,
since
really,
you dropped to that knee, mate,
really
it's all
good.
falling apart.
I lost it before that.
My phone.
I really no, it's a really good show. It started, so it's being released every Monday, so we watch it one episode.
Oh,
each
really?
week. Yeah,
Like
it's
the old days.
like the old days, and it's really good. Pedro Pascal, he's one. I think he's one of my favorite actors, to be honest.
Nice.
He's a big
Oh,
heavy.
Pedro?
Yeah.
Big Russell Pedro.
Pascali?
Yeah,
So he's done some good roles in TV, which is good. But that's a really good show. The episodes
What's
are
that
like
on?
Binge as well.
Binge.
Binge has all HBO. It's all the American shit on HBO. He's put on.
It's got The
Binge.
Wire as well.
It's got The Wire.
Oh,
It's
really?
got
I might
Binge.
actually have to start getting
Binge
into
is
it.
And
actually-
Sopranos. They're
Binge
all
has got
HBO
really
shows.
good
Yeah.
shit.
Great shit.
So it's Binge had Game of Thrones and all that shit as well. Anything from HBO.
Yeah.
It's good.
Right.
Crazy. We're going to get into a couple of questions from one from the Instagram, one from the Discord. First one from the Instagram
The
will
Instagram.
be
The Instagram.
The Instagrams will be training vegetarian, which we're going to open up to a little bit more of just like health and fitness as a vegetarian and trying to improve your results, I guess, because there's no secret to the vegetarian diet that there are some limitations to it,
Well, I
especially from a hypertrophy standpoint.
So you obviously have to look straight to diet because there's nothing. If you're asking training as a vegetarian, nothing changes. But obviously, diet-wise, it's something to be aware of. When anytime you take out like a major food group, you got to think, all right, when I'm removing that, what is it that I'm missing? And depending on your individual diet, there could be a variety of things that you are missing. And obviously we're not doctors, but it's probably a good idea to probably speak to your doctor, get a blood test, work out what you might be deficient in so you can try and fill those holes, because you may need extra supplementation of certain things beyond what you can get from your diet. But as a general rule, just for the context of training, high quality protein sources, which generally speaking are going to be tofu, soy, and versions of that. I mean, if you're a vegetarian, it's a lot easier because you can get dairy in there, you can get eggs in there as well. There's a few other ones, like for example, lupini beans happen to be high in leucine, which is the key. Lupini beans, they're the key. That's the key amino acid that you generally struggle to get in a lot of plant-based proteins. Soy does have that, as well as lupini beans. There's a few other ones, but soy is the main one. Soy protein, tofu, all that type of stuff. Leucine's the key thing.
That's the amino acid.
If you do buy a vegetarian, vegan, whatever it is, protein, I mean, it's more likely vegan, because you get this is more for vegans. If you just get a vegetarian protein powder, that's just milk, so you're going to be fine. But if you do get a vegan protein powder, flip the back, or on the website, see how much leucine it has. If it doesn't have about 2,000 milligrams or 2 grams per serve, probably not ideal. Try get one that does have that. On top of that, leucine supplementing with it can be very useful.
Super cheap.
Super cheap. Have a few scoops a day across the day.
Complete protein, then it's really easy to just dump
for sure.
in a glass of water.
And just continuing on that, what exactly does leucine do physiologically?
So for muscle protein synthesis, the pathways or the mechanism for that to be activated, it requires the essential amino acid that's leucine.
And the recommended dosage per meal, so say 3 to 4 times a day, is about 2 to 3 grams. So, for example, if you
I was just going to go. It's protein ingested with leucine.
Yeah.
So if it's lacking those essential amino acids, that essential amino acid being leucine, then it's an incomplete protein. The complete protein, for it to be complete, requires that amino acid.
If you have meat or fish or eggs or something like that, if you have 20 to 40 grams of protein, that's going to be enough to get that leucine. But if it's plant-based sources, you may struggle. So for example, someone might be like, oh, I've got this high protein pasta, but yeah, it might have 30 grams of protein, but does it actually have enough leucine? Not necessarily. It doesn't mean it's bad, but it's just if you're relying on that solely and not adding something else to that meal, whether it's tofu or eggs or whatever it might be, to get that high quality source, you're thinking, oh, I'm getting all this protein, but it's not of the same quality. So that's where... And this is what I tell some of my vegetarian clients, because they don't always want to have tofu or whatever. Have the pasta, have whatever you want with it, but then just in addition to that on the side, put a bit of leucine in a cup, so that you don't have to stress, oh, I have to have tofu with every meal, or constantly having protein powder, which can become a bit of a drag. Have the leucine on the side, and then you've covered your bases there. And then you don't have to feel like you're living off tofu and protein powder, which obviously can get a bit much.
Sort of a like lateral, but it helps as well with that. I do this with foods generally. Like if I'm looking for food ideas or just a shopping list to make and I'm sick of what I have been eating, I'll do like veggies high in fiber. I've done this long enough to know, but I'll search vegetables high in fiber. Or for like, if it is a vegetarian foods that are complete protein, stuff like that. And you can create a shopping list from that. I find it's really easy. Yeah. Sometimes, you've got your mental list and you have your shopping list that you go and your standards that you go every time. It does get stale sometimes. Like there's that many lists on Google. Like it's that easy just to pick a few things from there. I know it is quite easy to do. So that would be something I would do if you are looking for more options. Just Google that, and then same for anything else really. Like Google.
And then I think something that's worth mentioning as well, like with those like higher protein things, like it is probably worthwhile being aware that often they end up being significantly more expensive, but you're not even getting the leucine. So it has X amount of protein, but you'd be better off getting San Remo or fucking just regular Aldi pasta and then having the leucine on the side versus, I'm having this protein with 30 grams of this pasta with 30 grams of protein. It's like $4 for a small packet.
And also just tastes like mushy shit.
Correct. So just have the good old San Remo and fucking have some leucine on the side.
You're talking about like the pulse pasta, like chickpea pasta.
Yeah, honestly, I don't mind the taste of those, but they're just very expensive. And you're not getting, generally speaking, unless they happen to be like soy based or something, you're probably not getting enough leucine. And even if you were, it's so expensive. It's just like hard to justify it, especially if you're eating a lot more food to support your training.
So would you say the soy textured protein stuff, like that's great. The fake meats made out of is pretty good.
That's great. as a general just health-based thing, though, you're probably better off going for the less processed one. So like your textured vegetable protein, because it's very minimally processed. Tofu. When you start to get to some of those ones, it's like, oh, like Beyond Meat. Yeah, there's a lot, it's high-quality protein, but there's a lot of shit in there. It's like, it's probably not something you want to be having on the day-to-day. Like, it's quite highly processed, a lot of random shit. Whereas if you have, like, the textured vegetable protein, it's basically like soy and water and, like, very minimal ingredients. So it's a healthier option for you.
Yeah. Whilst we're on this topic, because I think it's a good thing just for just the general trainer as well, not specifically vegetarian or vegan, but this idea of like protein spacing. Because we're talking about leucine here, was brought up the fact that it spikes muscle protein synthesis, especially when in combination of a full complete protein, about a 20-gram bolus, I believe, is correct.
That's the phrase.
Bolus,
phrase?
love a good bolus.
Bolus of protein. Bolus of protein.
Bolus.
But what about spacing protein feeding across the day?
Yeah,
Why
so-
do we do it?
not
Why is it
bad.
important? And how might people navigate that better to see better results?
Window.
Yeah, so the number one thing when it comes to protein is quality and also amount. So try and get 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilo of body weight. That's your number one goal. Beyond that, if you want to dot your I's and cross your T's, trying to space it out across the day is beneficial, whether you're getting plant-based sources or animal-based sources. So if you can roughly divide your protein up into 3 servings, that's probably good. 4 is probably a little bit better. Any more than that, it's probably excessive. Like, you don't need to have 6 fucking protein feeds across the day. 3 to 4, you'll be right.
Did anyone used to wake up at like midnight or something and slam a
fuck
quick
that.
whey protein and go back to bed?
I swear.
People that have.
I remember, what's his name? Who was that?
Middle of the night.
Middle of the
who was
night,
the
get up.
bodybuilder like before Phil Heath? He was like the blonde guy.
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler, he'd be like, I'd do like, not for protein, just for calories. He'd wake up at like 3 a.m. and smash a meal. Because like, otherwise I wake up and I've lost like 6 kilos. I'm like, fuck that. Like, that'd be the worst.
Dedication to the cause.
100%, man. Like, but I reckon surely there was better ways you could have managed. Like, just eat more during the day. But anyway,
So-
he's Jay Cutler.
But I wanted to add to that. This is where the macro tracking thing, I feel, and I've seen it more, is the spacing is probably something that should be focused more on. Not as you said, not 6 times a day, but 3
3 to
serves of
4.
protein across the day, more so than, I haven't eaten any protein today, I've got 160 grams to get, I'll get it all in one meal. 'Cause
Correct.
It's fun
Correct.
sometimes though.
Have a massive steak, yeah.
It's,
So I think just from maybe like a way that people eat that aren't necessarily like fitness focused. One, they might not eat enough protein, but 2, it's the spacing. For breakfast, might have cereal and toast, or just cereal with a bit of milk, porridge. Obviously, not a lot of protein there. Lunch, something with a little bit of protein, but then it's dinner when they really get that big hit. But then from obviously from muscle protein synthesis standpoint, getting it spread out across the day is better, but also it's just more realistic. Like, if you expect yourself to get 150 grams of protein at dinner, it's probably not going to be something you're going to
I
consistently
chase
be
meals
able
for
to
that
do.
GI distress though.
He loves it.
Yeah, I love it.
Hunt discomfort.
funny.
Go to war, baby.
I look at a meal without protein on the plate as like not a meal.
Yeah.
Like, so when I watch people that like don't really train, they're not educated in this stuff, and they'll have just like pasta with red sauce.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's not a meal.
Yeah.
Unless there's kimame seiki.
You look down on them.
No, I don't look down on them. I don't look down on them. It's just like,
For you, that's
we've
not a
been
meal.
training
Got
for
that
so
red
long
sauce.
now.
Yeah, call that a meal.
Fucking pasta. We've been training for that long now. It's like one of the first things you ever taught when you get into the gym is like protein.
Plants and protein.
If you finish your fucking workout, you get a protein shake in. That night, you eat a big steak or whatever. It's just you just protein. It's the thing that you do, and we just it's become such a habit for us, and I'm sure a lot of other gym goers, that your meals are built around protein.
Yeah, chase that bolus,
It's
baby.
the first thing.
Bolus.
All days.
So let's finalize this.
So
Bolus is like a mouthful. Finalize.
it's a shit word. I hate it.
How much
love
total
it.
protein should people be looking for?
So 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilo a day. If you are getting it from plant-based sources, probably better to go to the higher end of that, generally speaking.
How many feedings per day?
Feedings 3 to 4.
24.
And we're looking for
20 to 40 grams of protein, which, if it's coming from a high quality protein source, is what is going to get you that 2 to 3 grams of leucine. So, for an example, if you have and this is quite niche, but like, say if you had only a small amount of chicken and that was maybe 15 grams of protein, but the rest of your protein's coming from your wholemeal bread or your high fiber pasta, whatever, are you actually getting that 2 to 3 grams? Maybe. It's harder to say. So try and make sure it's 20 to 40 grams coming from a high quality protein source, and those trace amounts that add up, that's fine.
Yep. And then we're looking for 2 grams of leucine per serving,
Which will get you there by just having 20 to 40 grams of a high quality protein source, or supplementing with leucine if you aren't getting a lot of protein as a plant-based person.
Crazy.
And then as a vegetarian, obviously we're not a doctor, but just be aware that you could be missing out on some things, not even from a training standpoint, just from a health standpoint. It's probably worth making sure you're filling those holes and speaking to a doctor to sort that shit out.
Nice. There's all your protein tidbits.
Yeah. Smack them boluses, baby.
Yeah.
If you want some protein,
Get 'em in.
Culture 10 Elite Subs.
Elite
Yeah,
Subs.
Elite Subs, Culture 10.
The finest protein.
Also, if you're looking for help with your nutrition, we do offer nutrition coaching, and the boys can help you. So reach out, jump in the DMs, or complete the first link in the bio down below. The final question that we're going to be covering is dealing with burnout as a coach and trying to separate passion and work. And is that difficult for us? I've definitely felt it, but how have you guys gone with that? Because I know there's a lot of PTs out there, young coaches, strength coaches, who may feel that pressure. It can be quite, it can feel quite constrictive when your hobby is lifting, your work is lifting, your passion is lifting, and then maybe some of that starts to fall away a little bit. And you're like, what am I actually doing here? How am I going to deal with this? So have you boys felt any of that?
I think making sure that you have other key hobbies or interests or friendship groups outside of the gym is important. Especially, this is obviously we're talking to people who work in the fitness industry. If you don't work in the fitness industry, you're at work all day, you're like crazy, let's get to the gym. But if you're in the gym, or you the gym, or you think about it as gym, talking about gym. It can become a lot. So pursue other hobbies, have other friendship groups. It's great. I mean, I love it when I'm with a group of people who don't give a fuck about the gym. They're not going to ask me anything out of the gym. They don't want to tell me about how their gym's going. Like that, I find that enjoyable. Inferior people, I know. But
also the classic. Oh yeah, look, I'm been trying to get back into it. Like I don't care.
I literally don't care.
Yeah. Oh, I tell you what, I've been eating better. This is not a normal meal for me, and they're devouring a double cheeseburger.
So half the time I'll tell them like, same. I'm just getting back into it.
I got a funny story actually from the winery the other day. Obviously the wait staff knew that we'd gotten engaged. They were coming up, congratulations. And the table next to us were like, "Oh, you're going, congratulations, really nice, whatever." But then she just kept the conversation going a little bit longer than she should have, and she started.
Stay welcome.
She asked me, she goes, "Oh, what do you do for work?" And I was like, "I work in a gym. I got a gym, Marab and fucking strength and powerlifting." Oh, she goes, "Do you know these bodysuits?" And I'm like, "Nah, what? They're like little electrodes." And I was like, "Nah, not really." Like, she's like, "Do you?" And I was like, "Nah." And I was like, it just kept going just a little bit. And I was like, in my head, I was like, "You're lovely. I'm happy you congratulated us. So that I really appreciate that, but I don't give a fuck about
I feel like
these bodysuits."
for some reason with health and fitness, people feel like there's an avenue to open up that conversation. Like if you meet someone, "Oh, what do you do for work?" "I'm an accountant." "Oh, hey mate, so I'm really trying to like sort out my tax return. You got any tips for me?" Like, I don't know. I just feel like that conversation doesn't happen. But for some reason with health and fitness, what do you think about X, Y, Z?
Yeah, what do you think
for some
about this
reason
cash
people
flow
think that's a normal fucking like.
I think probably because there's just so much information that conflicts and everything
Yeah.
everywhere. Like people honestly, I feel like just don't know what to do.
They got no idea.
Yeah,
And I feel like that is, we're in some echo chamber, but the majority of information that's out there, like exercise wise, is so fucked.
It is, yeah.
far-fetched. It's conflicting. So the general person that is
just
exposed to all this
They're lost,
information,
yeah.
and they're so confused, it's not funny. So when they ask, it's like, can I get a bit of clarification on this? Because I don't know left from right. And it's fair.
Yeah, nah, fair
it's
enough,
hard.
fair
It's a hard space to navigate. Like, it's,
But also, let me eat my lunch. Like,
Yeah, no, because
fuck your oysters
I always like to give people.
Pass the red sauce.
I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I was just being nice, whatever.
Don't send me a congratulations text. I'm fucking got enough of them already.
if you see Charlie, don't congratulate him.
No, I've enjoyed it. I've appreciated it a lot.
she tipped you over the edge. Maybe that's why you feel fucked today.
The lady, it's
The bodysuit.
She was nice.
Obviously not nice enough.
The husband left the wallet, so Deuce went and gave her the wallet.
Should have pocketed it.
Pocket the wallet. No, I just was like the bodysuits. I was like, I don't know what the fuck these bodies. Do you even know what these?
Nah,
bodysuits
the one that used to be at the old gym where I first worked at recreation was these vibrating plates.
Yeah.
And you'd stand on them and like
Push-ups.
sit in a quarter
Just melts the
squat
fat.
or like and it's just
Melts
like
it.
vibrates the fat away.
It melts it away.
Yeah.
Don't eat bread. Bread will kill you.
Yeah.
That
Burnout. Let's go
will
back
get
to
ya.
the topic. Burnout.
Burnouts.
So having some different hobbies has definitely helped. That's one thing that's helped me without a doubt.
I've found separating work from training. There was a point for me where, like, as you get older, I think the priority on spending 8 hours in the gym, it just becomes less and less. If there's competing goals, if there's more things you want to achieve, if your career moves into a different space, if you want to spend time on more relationships and your social life or whatever else, and time does start to get taken up more and more, having work and being in a workplace, and it's lovely, like having the community and speaking to your clients and your friends and whatever else, but that can take away from...
You can get sucked into it.
You can get sucked into it. And I don't feel comfortable like, hey, I'm training, so just leave me. But I just don't feel comfortable doing that on the gym floor. So it does take away from training. My training is shit, and then it creates a cycle of like, I feel like I'm not being the coach and being part of the culture as I should be on the gym floor, but then also I'm getting this ill feeling about training. I'm not putting my all into this. So I'm spread thin over these two things, and then it just creates, I don't know, it just creates a cycle of like, this is shit. I'm doing everything poorly. So having a separate space to train for me was probably the best thing. And then dependent on the training session in my week, how time was, like if it made sense for me to drag out a training session, then I would pick and choose that. So the best of both worlds there, because once work does become work and work starts to be more of your life, having training, which is a hobby to me and to a lot of people, it just became
Too much.
It wasn't a hobby anymore. It started to be like shit, and like this isn't fun for me. And it is something that you do spend a lot of time on. Like even if it is just for general health and fitness, something that could be 3 to 8 hours of your week it's a lot of time. You better hope you enjoy it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that's been the biggest thing for me, I've found. Burnout. What else? And being a bit more strict around times. So training times.
Yep.
And like having that all factored in the week prior, the fortnight prior, I have that locked in. It's sort of like a non-negotiable, not something that I could drag out or do this, do that then. Or maybe I'll do this and I'll do my accessories later. Like really shit boundaries around it. Like, and then dragging out what's supposed to be a 4-hour week to a potentially 7-8 hour week. And then you create this time anxiety and everything else. That's the biggest thing. So being a bit more strict with times and scheduling for training and having a separate training space, so that I could use it when I wanted to. They've been the two biggest things for me.
That's been massive for me as well. Like on Mondays, I've tried to pick a start time of my training, which means that I'll be able to get my session done right before the meeting, but it'll be a push. I don't want to like give myself more than enough time. It just makes you crunch. And then as well, like since moving out, getting married, I'm training at a gym closer to home a bit more, and that's been fucking great. Like I love it. I just feel like I properly switch off. I go there, headphones are on for like 90 minutes straight, and what took me over 2 hours, 2.5 hours, I'm getting done in like 90 minutes. I'm not even rushing. It's just because, you know, and obviously we've talked about this before, but, you know, we don't switch off, and I don't want to switch off when I'm down. I don't want to be like, oh, I'm not going to talk to anyone. If I'm here, obviously I'm going to talk to people, but it's great to just have that space where you don't have to think about anything else, but I'm doing my session, that's it. I do my shit. There's fucking the weights I fucking put away. Shit doesn't matter. Not my problem. Like, you know, people doing fuck shit. Not my problem. You know what I mean?
What
Like,
is this sentence?
No. Because like, okay,
No, I know what you mean.
I'm rambling.
Have a shot
I'm
for
rambling.
every fucking.
I'm rambling.
Fucking
But
shit.
the point
How's
is,
the
it's
gym fucking?
it's just great to have a space where like all you're there to do is
was
train, and that's
amazing.
it. All you're there to do is train, and that's it. And you feel like you can properly just switch off, just get into a bit of a
Fuck
flow
'em.
state. It's
Fuck
nice.
'em.
And then it has created time, like to do other stuff and have more downtime, which is awesome.
I reckon you could turn this potty into a drinking game between the amount of times you said protein and fucking.
And bolus.
and gym. And gym.
Oh, it'd be off your head.
And the amount of times Charlie's voice is broke.
couple of cheeky shots there.
Burnout.
What are you on your phone for?
I was reading the question again because
It's a good question.
it was a good question, and I feel like there was a bit of layers to it.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted to make
Charlie likes
sure
to
we
go
addressed
deeper.
it
Like an onion.
No, because I feel like you two very much spoke about having a separate
Do you want to talk
place.
into the mic?
I'm in the mic.
I'm in the mic.
You two spoke about having a separate gym to train at, which I have done in the past. Pretty much all the way up till COVID, I trained at Hammer House. People used to ask me why, and I'm like, because I just like going. Same reasons. I just like going in there and training, and it's not my work. In terms of burnout, I think having variability in your exercise is something that I'm seeing more and more, which is hence why I was like, I wanted to do a triathlon because I wanted to do something different. Variability in your training. Don't feel like you have to be pigeonholed to this one thing, because then you do get a bit burnt out.
And I think on that, exploring interests. If something is interesting to you, don't be afraid to be like, even it might not align with like your long-term goal, but it might be something that you can explore for 2 to 3 months. I know you've done this with hiring different coaches and stuff, where you can go and explore different areas and pick up things that are not of the normal straight down the line.
Having hobbies away from the gym is a big one. So I know like playing golf with the high school friends is fun because it's away from work. We don't talk about work. We just the boys having fun,
shit on each other,
talk shit and hitting a ball around. So that's definitely helped. I know for me also, like I don't know anything about powerlifting in terms of like the sport and who's lifting, and I just have never cared for it. That's been and that also has been a big strategy for me to be able to train in powerlifting and strength, is actually not following it. Like I just that was something that worked for me. I just don't really care.
And I think
watch it or to know what's out there or who's lifting big weights. It just doesn't interest me.
I think that's why you're always such a cool cat, because so many people, especially like you at a bit of a higher level, they get so worked up about what everyone else is doing, where you're like, I'm literally here, I'm doing my thing, and I don't give a fuck what anyone else is doing. And not in a rude day, but you just don't. You don't pay attention to what the other people. You just focus on you, and it works out.
I got no idea what's going on out there. So having other hobbies, golf. I know one for me is I like going to the footy. Like I like going to other live sporting events. Always been interested in sports. That's helped me a lot. I went to the tennis a couple of weeks ago as well. Just shit like that. It's just away from gym.
Just get away from it. Yeah.
But also the tri training has helped a lot for me. Being outside, running, riding, going. I'm going to go for an ocean swim later. That's helped a lot. It's away from the gym. It's different.
That periodization saved you.
Periodization and hyper specialization. You don't need to hyper specialize. I think, and this is something I'm seeing more and more now, is the fitness industry is viewed from this lens of bodybuilding and powerlifting, maybe as two
strength and muscle.
Yeah, and that's it. That's all you do, and that's all you chase. And cardio kills your gains and the interference effects. Because I know that we're saying that, and we read a lot of stuff. You know, I know Angus is pushing a lot. Alec Blennis, the Complete Human Performance guys, they're pushing it. The interference effect is trash. But I noticed when I spoke to people at Nationals, a lot of them still were like, "Oh, you're not worried about the interference effect. You're not worried about like your gains." Like it's still. That idea is still out there that doing some cardio is going to fuck your gains, which it's not. So that needs to die, that myth.
I think you for a lot of people, you're going to help that be the reason.
Well, hopefully. Well, yeah. Well, there's a lot of guys we follow that
you're the one.
Like
you're the one.
Crawley's.
You are the one. Because you're chosen one.
Because you're strong as fuck.
There's a fucking
you are the one.
There's a whole bunch of guys.
Yeah, but I think for our little community. Subset of the world, I think you're going to be the person where they're like, oh, maybe hopefully I can just go for a run if I want to.
Hopefully the strength's still there at the end of that.
Imagine if you lose all your strength. Fuck.
Lost it all.
That experiment.
Still good. I pulled up.
Conventional
Deadlift 210 for 7 the other day. Yeah, it's still there somewhere. Burnout, hobbies, different, and the time thing's the big one. The time thing's the big one, and you don't need to train 5-6 days a week.
Yeah,
do 3 fucking good sessions with intensity. Yeah,
I think just one last thing, and this is something that has helped me probably more than anything, is just being honest with yourself. And once you start to identify those feelings, talking to people about them, because what you'll find is pretty much everyone else in the same position is probably feeling or has felt those same emotions before. I definitely have. I've spoken to probably 100 coaches who have been in a similar position of, I actually am starting to hate this whole thing. And there are many ways to find and navigate that feeling and to move through it. So don't be afraid to speak up to people that you feel or you know may have been through similar things.
I think for us, especially when you're earlier in your career, like it is such a fun career. Like we have it really good. It's not a normal job in a lot of ways. And so coming into it's like, oh, this is so mad. This is such a fun job. I'm so happy to be doing this. And then I think you put that pressure on yourself you have to love it all the time. And it always has to be so fulfilling. But just like with anything, there's times you're like, I kind of seeps this week. I don't want to do the usual stuff I have to do. Yeah, I'll do it. But like, I'm kind of dragging my feet a little bit. And you're allowed to feel that way. Whereas if you think, oh no, best job in the world, like fucking, oh, we have it so much better than other people. Like it's an unrealistic expectation for you to always be like that. Like you're allowed to feel shit. You're allowed to, not care as much sometimes. Like that's fucking normal in any job.
Absolutely.
Just go for a run. Get that high.
Back
on the horse.
Yeah.
Back on the horse. The other thing too that I really liked, I started watching that Stutz, whatever his name is, Phil Stutz on Netflix. It's Jonah Hill's psychologist.
Oh, I've heard about that.
So Jonah Hill was just talking about how he was obviously very large and obese when he was a child, and that really fucked him up, he said, and it fucked his relationship up with training and stuff, because he's like, everyone was always telling you, you got to exercise to lose weight. And he goes, I'd never been framed that exercise could be, as he's gotten older, and his psychologist helped you, that it can be framed as a something that's good for your mental health.
Enjoyable. And
moving your body and just doing whatever it is for your mental health, not for losing weight, not for like, and I think that, yeah, it's sort of when we look at the lens of that the bodybuilding and powerlifting and who's on Instagram, and it's all these fucking super jacked people that eat chicken and broccoli and live this rigid lifestyle. It's like no one lives that lifestyle. They're the 1% of 1%. It's the same with like the powerlifting. No one lives that lifestyle, and it's just okay to move and train to feel good. You don't have to.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, so you just, I don't know, it doesn't need to be, because I know I was looking at it as it's got to be for performance always. It's like
why? Why does it? Yeah.
Sometimes it's just to feel good.
Absolutely.
That was my biggest shift, going from wanting to be like champion, kickboxer, boxer, whatever. That was like my whole life. That was my identity, whatever else. And then you transition into, all right, I'm a coach now. It's lifting. It's this. I have to be this top level athlete. And then you realize you just don't care that much anymore. Values change. Like what I wanted when I was an 18-year-old is a lot different to what I wanted in mid-20s. So it was like almost hanging on to this dream.
Sounds like your test levels are dropping.
That's what it is. My test levels.
You're nearing 30.
They've plummeted. So I think detaching from that, and for me, it was like I want to be the best coach I can be.
Yeah,
it wasn't I need to be the best athlete I'm going to be, and that I feel like that allowed me to detach from having to hyper specialize on one thing, and I have to do this for the remainder of my life and do that and hate it because that's the pursuit. You got to fucking die on the sword, this that, and I was like, nah. For me, that was the biggest change. It allowed for more variability and stimuli by way of just hiring a different coach or shifting a goal or reading different materials, because that for me didn't work. And I think to specialize for a lot of people is definitely I think it's definitely fucking admirable to be able. Like I look at Mike Teixeira, and that guy's been powerlifting for the last 20 years, and respect. And when you look at these industry leaders and they're the guys you look at, it's like, all right, to be that person, I need to hyper specialize for 20 years. It's not for everyone, and that's okay. And that's what I realized a bit later on. Like now I've realized that like I don't want to do that. I don't think I've got it in me. Like,
and
I've
definitely done the same, like, looking up to certain people who have gone about things in a very rigid, repetitive way and almost like glorifying that. But it's like, yeah, that's great, works for them, and yes, it is admirable, but you have to look yourself in the mirror and be like, is that me? And if it's not you, you're probably at some point you're going to make yourself miserable by doing that. You need to understand what is going to be the most fulfilling path for you to take. And obviously for me, like, fucking adding basketball back in, like, that's fucking one thing. Like, it's not fucking optimal for anything. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Like, I'm fucking mediocre anyway. It doesn't matter. Like, fuck.
No, it's good to be shit. Yeah. No, we've said this before. We've said this before with especially with the powerlifting thing. People come in and straight away they want to know what the records are. And I'm going to break all the fucking records and break them. Yeah. And I think something for me that the endurance training has helped me a lot with is I'm not doing it I'm shit at it. I'm shit. I'm 105 kilos. I'm shit. I'm slow. There's 6-year-old men flying past me on the bike.
Mammals.
But I'm not, the mammals.
That's not why you do it.
But it's not. And it's like there's this really self-rewarding thing. It's like we're just out there. You're out there for 2 hours or whatever by yourself doing this thing that's not really that glamorous. You're not posting it on social media after this big, heavy deadlift or whatever. And I kind of like that. I don't
Posting
know.
your 7-minute Ks.
I post it every session.
Bro, we post it. Yeah, we post it every set. We post it, but that's because we're coaches.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I've had to
I
learn
love
to
it.
balance is social media.
I must admit,
I
I
would
look
never
at your bricks. I got no idea what's going on.
I have no
look
idea
at
what
the
you're talking
time,
about.
the length of time, and
man, that's a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was closer to that goal that they set. Yeah, man.
I wouldn't post, honestly, if we weren't working in
Yeah.
this line of work, I wouldn't be posting shit on social media.
I'd love
Yeah.
to get rid of it if I wasn't working in
Yeah.
the industry.
So I think I've got a good relationship with it. I've had a balanced, good relationship with them. I put on for work and then I'm pretty much off it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the fuck I was saying.
I
Glitz
don't
and
know.
glamour. No
I'm
glitz and
I'm
glamour.
happy to leave it there. Though.
You got to
No,
do
you
glitz
don't.
and
Glitz and
glamour.
glamour.
Get a few more fuckings and then we'll capitalize.
No, we've got to say if
No
you're
glitz and
if you are
glamour.
feeling a little bit burnt out,
You're feeling fucking
call
burnt
to
out.
action, bottom of the funnel. If you are feeling a little bit burnt out, you need some help, need some guidance, just need some support. We are here to help. Maybe hiring a new coach or trying a new line of training venture will be good for you. But we will wrap the episode up here. If you made it this far, 5 stars on Spotify, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're closing in on 9,000 YouTube subscribers, which is pretty crazy. We'd also
putting videos up.
yeah, oh yeah,
these are
podcasts,
YouTube's up.
but not-
YouTube
not-
and
not,
shorts. It all comes in.
Let's
mate.
go do a hectic eats again.
So yeah,
Right
the support does help. Those little things go a long way. Apparel probably about a month away. Looking forward to that. Thank you for the support. We will see you next week with David Gray coming on.
I'm hanging for that.
Yeah, shouts out
That's going to be really good.
David Gray.
David.
But yeah,
Yes,
done.
David.
Yes with David. Ciao.